was never in my career plan. But when I look back on my past, it's obvious that I was always headed down that road. See, at 13 years old, I understood I had power over men, equipped with a 17-year-old's curvaceous and fully developed body. I realized back then that all it took to get what I wanted was a subtle, seductive smile, a sexy gaze, or a you-know-you-want-it stance. My father was the first man I learned to control. Most people assumed I had him wrapped around my finger because he loved me unconditionally. I was his daughter, his princess, but I knew better. My father was a pervert who was always taking side glances at me and looking me up and down. He used to love to accidentally walk in on me when I was showering or getting dressed. But instead of excusing himself and leaving right away, he would take long, lingering seconds to admire how grown his little girl was. He never touched me improperly, but I could see it in his eyes that he wanted to fuck me good. I should have been uncomfortable and disgusted by the fact that my own father had sexual thoughts about me, but I never was. I was amused, actually. I mean, there I was, a 13-year-old girl getting a rise out of a grown man. Hell, my own father. Toying with him, I learned the art of seduction and garnered a true understanding of the type of power I possessed then. With an inviting look, a seductive smile, a sexy stance, I realized I could get whatever I wanted. Through my father, I understood just how weak men were. I learned that if you teased them just enough, their imaginations would run wild, their dicks would swell, and they'd become puppets, doing whatever it was you wanted them to. My mother saw the power I had over my father and tried time and time again to stand in my way. But although I was young, I'd been too in tune with my sex appeal. By the time I was 15, she left my father and me. She never admitted it, but I think she was jealous of the fact that, up until his fatal heart attack, I could have still manipulated the hell out of him. Manipulation. Break it down. A woman must have come up with the word. I continued to learn and love the power of manipulation through my teenage years and on into my early 20s. There was just nothing as intense to me as pulling a man's strings to get what I wanted without having to give up anything in return. And that was always the case. Boys and men bought me things, took me places, and did anything I told them to. And unless I wanted it to happen, they never even got a whiff of my pussy. Manipulation, control, the words are synonymous. Playing men was always like a game to me because I never really needed them. I came to the realization in my early 20s that in order for me to truly have control over a man, I had to be independent and successful. A woman that could play a man but didn't have her own shit got no respect from me because in my eyes, they were weak-minded. They may have had the tits and ass and knew how to use them, but they lacked intelligence. Because if they were truly using their brains, they would realize that a woman who had her own shit was far more desirable. See, men are simple. They do all of their rationalization with their dicks. And they think that because God gave them chest hair, they're supposed to be the dominant ones. A woman that needs nothing is a woman most wanted because she's viewed as a challenge. Bring your own car into the relationship. A man will want to buy you a better, more expensive one. Have your own home? A man will want you to move into his. Have your own money, and he'll say to hell with the price and empty out his own wallet. Men are driven by the need to impress. Women who understand this are the ones that get the most respect from me. My mother, as beautiful as she was, never brought anything to the table, which is why my father never truly respected her. She always used to complain about how I was just like my father. I guess she's been right, because I didn't have much respect for her either. To this day, we still don't have much of a relationship. Like I said, I never intended on becoming a homewrecker. Prior to my career change, I was the head buyer for Lavore Fashions, an up-and-coming urban fashion company that was bringing some serious heat to the powerhouses like Sean John and Rockaway.